What's going on YouTube? This is Rodney with GearCore EDC with yesterday's carry because I didn't get to do it. I worked, come home, had some things to do with my wife, working with the chickens and getting them situated, and just got exhausted and never got around to making it. So I wanted to make sure I got it out, so I'm doing it today. So this is yesterday's carry, which was on 5/16, a Saturday. I had two knives in the pocket. I had the Twosun TS51 in a green anodized with a gold anodized backspacer and pocket clip, done in D2. And this is a night morning design. And the Twosun TS77 single-sided frame lock knife, also in titanium with a lanyard option, and has a barrel style pivot collar that captures the blade for this side. Twosun TS77. This is also a night morning design, done in D2. Pretty unique looking knife. You can really get a view of the hardened lock bar insert. Detent ramp on this. I think that's a common thing on Twosuns now, is their detent ramps. Makes for a nice easy closer. You can see the micro milling done on these contoured angular scales. Nice full back spine backspacer that pretty much encapsulates the entire blade. This knife is rotating on an internal pivot. Nice snappy action. Drop shut. I have this in the standard titanium version also that I might keep stock or anodize. This is a great knife except for the pocket clip. While it does go in and out of pocket, there's not a lot of space there, and if you wear any kind of jeans or pants or shorts that are thicker than, say, I don't know, let's just say that it doesn't work great. I wish they would really think out their pocket clips. And on the TS77, there is only a lanyard option. There is no clip because the knife is so small. There's nice jimping on the flipper tab and jimping on the back of the spine. Action is great. It's a tiny little knife. I can get almost three fingers on it. This is done in sort of a modified Tanto Warncliffe type blade. It's got a little bit of belly to it. It's not straight. Very lightweight, very easy to drop. On the 51, we have jimping right here. This is a lot of belly knife. Also a upward swept modified Tanto or drop point. I'm not sure what that is. Flat grind. Hardened lock bar insert. Centering is right down the center. Lockup is about 40-45% roughly. I'd say 40. On the 51 and on the TS77, we're looking at about 25% lockup. And when you close it, you cannot see centering because there is only one side of the frame. So I'm guessing it's centered. Another thing I like on this, that the interior lock bar relief is on the interior, which adds to a nicer, cleaner look on the outside of the knife. It is a two-piece construction. You have the side frame and then the back spacer slash rib support is bolted to the side of the frame via these two screws. And they are all T8 hardware except for the T6 in the lock bar insert and T8 in the pivot on the 77. And on the 51, it's T8, one screw in the rear, one T8 pivot and a T6 for the hardened insert. And this is the hidden screw pocket clip, or interior style screw pocket clip. I heard somebody else on one of their channels, they called it something else. I can't recall, but it's made sense. Nicely done. No skeletonization on the liners of this knife. There is some light chamfering on the lock bar side and the presentation side to be able to get your finger in there and close it. So that's what I have for you today. Let's get to some weights and links. In the closed position, the TS51 is right at 4.5 inches. We have a grip length of about 3 7/8. We have a blade length, cutting edge, of about 3.5 and about 3 3/4 to the frame. And the open length overall, we're looking at about 8 1/4. And that's for the TS51. On the TS77, we're looking at about 3 13/16 maybe. No, I'd say about 3/4, depending on how. Yeah, about 3/4. For grip length, which is little to nothing, less than 3 inches. If you're grabbing only this portion here, because this is in the back of the hand, you actually have just over 2 inches. So not much at all. It's a very tiny frame knife. For cutting edge length, we're looking at 2 3/8. The blade length of about 2 5/8. Spine material, blade material, is 154 thousandths. And behind the edge, if I can get it, 15 thou behind the edge. Well, let me remeasure that. No, it's double that because I was choking up. It's 30 thou behind the edge, behind the sharpened portion. So, nice opening slot here to where you can make sure you don't cut yourself and fling it out with that. You can, if you hold it just right, you could spotty flick it. I cannot, because that opening is so close to the back of the frame. You can see there's not really no room to get your finger in there. On the frame thickness, we're looking at 450 thou, and including the blade and height, we're looking at 1.74 inches. On the TS51, we're looking at 445 thou. Blade stock, looking at 153 thou. And behind the edge, in about the regular cutting position, we're looking at about 26 thou, which is a little thick if you choke up on it. About 23 thou. So it's not super slicey, but it is a great slicer. It is a great knife. This nice flat grind and this belly. And even though this is a flipper tab knife, you can see that it's out of the cutting path for being able to slip. So let me see if I can try to show that. If you're looking at the slicing action, you can see that the flipper tab does not interfere with the cutting action. And that's what I have for yesterday's carry. The weights on these two respectively, almost forgot, I get ahead of myself. Looking at 4.14 ounces on this 51 and 2.65 ounces on the TS77. 75.1 grams and 117.5 grams. So not overly heavy knives. You know, you figure 4.14 ounces, and you know, you got a fairly decent sized knife. So, you know, maybe a little bit more than an ounce an inch, but that's what we have for yesterday's carry. The Twosun TS51 and the TS77. I really like this green anodization. I think it is one of my favorite anodized colors, combinations with the gold and the green anode. And this one is screaming for some anode work. This would look good in some custom storm type stasified. I know Stasa23 does some great work, and OCD for EDC does some nice work too. And a buddy of mine, Berg Knife, is just great. And there's another guy I watch, Brian Wallace. He does some great work too for that custom. I'm not sure exactly what it's called, but there's so many guys out there doing it now. Really nice looking. But anyway, that's what I have. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a comment. I look forward to talking with you. And I hope y'all have a great rest of your Sunday. I might get one more video in today on what you see up here in the corner, some Rough Riders. And that's it. Remember, please be safe, be careful, watch yourself out there, and keep that edge right. This is Rodney with Garrettcourt EDC. God bless. Bye now.